The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Friday with Carl Gallups. All right, let's go to Mike Zullo. Are you there?
I'm here. How are you, Carl?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being on with us today. And we're going to take some callers, and I know we've got callers on the line already. Folks, if you want to be a part of the show now, 623-1330, area code 850-623-1330. You can talk to Mike Zullo. And listen, we welcome anything. I mean, if you have questions, if you're confused about something, if you're aggravated or frustrated about something, call him up, talk to him about it. He'll talk to you. He'll shoot square with you. He'll answer your questions. Even if you're an Obama bot. I mean, even if you think this whole thing is stupid, if you think we're stupid, if you think all this is silly, call us up and don't just name call. I mean, that really proves that you don't know what you're talking about. Don't call up and name call. Call up and give us evidence. Give us facts. Give us something we can chew on. Stump us. Ask us something we've never heard. Put something before us that we've never considered. Please do that, okay? And I challenge the Obama bots. Present to Mike Zullo, particularly, and me as well, give us 100% legally verified, courtroom-ready evidence that Obama is even a U.S. citizen. Because at this point, you can't do that. Now, I'm going to tell you, he might be a U.S. citizen. But right now, there's more incontrovertible evidence to show that he is not a U.S. citizen than there is to prove that he is a U.S. citizen. So, a call out to the Obama bots. Please, I'm challenging you. I'm almost daring you. Please call in. Don't call in a name call. Call in and give us something to chew on. Ask us a question, something we've not considered. Mike Zullo, thanks for being on the show. You know that you're second best because Steve Stockman was supposed to be here.
I know, Carl. This is going to cost you a dinner the next time.
I know. How does it feel to be second fiddle? I mean, well, we couldn't give Steve Stockman, so we'll settle for Mike Zullo.
I'm used to it. That's kind of what happens in my house.
No, man. I'm telling you, you're top notch. You're right up there. I was telling Joe Arpaio earlier. I don't know if you heard that interview, but I told him, I said, you and Joe really are national heroes, regardless of what Congress does with this, because you guys have put your necks out there, you've put your lives out there, you've put your reputations, your careers out there to do what's right. I mean, you've just done what's right, and you have uncovered the truth, and now you're holding it out. And you can't help it that the media and Congress and the courts are ignoring it. But, of course, we've got some things moving along now. But thank you for what you're doing, and you are top drawer. And but go ahead and verify for the audience here that, of course, Stockman was supposed to come on, but he couldn't. But you believe, you've been in contact with his office, and I have, that he is going to come on the show, and he will do an interview with us, right?
Yeah, he is. Actually, I got an email from his right-hand man profusely apologizing for the mix-up. Yeah. It had something to do with plane flights, and they got the time wrong. You know what? I don't know what they really did there, but he did assure me that he's going to block a chunk of time out for you, so I know that that's going to happen.
Yeah, okay, good deal. Well, I know that. Now, listen, let's just go ahead and tell the folks, and we're going to take calls because the phone lines are just jamming up right now, but let's just tell the folks, as far as you know, unless something happens, you have been invited by Congressman Steve Stockman to present the entire criminal case to him. Now, Steve Stockman is a guy who's already filed articles of impeachment on the president before, on Obama before, over the whole Second Amendment and him threatening to use executive powers to shut down our Second Amendment rights. So Stockman is not somebody to be trifled with. I mean, he will file articles of impeachment. He could call for congressional investigations. He understands what's going on, and now he wants to meet with you, and Sheriff Arpaio apparently has given you full authority and permission to do that. Is that anywhere near accurate?
Yeah, that's correct. You were there, Carl. We met with Congressman Stockman at CPAC for about 2.5 hours. Then I did meet with him again when I was at the Constitutional Sheriffs and Police Officers Association meeting speaking on behalf of Sheriff Arpaio. We had a lengthy conversation there, and that topic of meeting him came up, and since there has been an invitation, we're trying to coordinate the schedule.
Right.
If I have my druthers, I would do it tomorrow, but things don't work like that.
Yeah,
obviously, from being together with me in Washington, you get invited to lunch, and that hour and a half goes down to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a good afternoon, hopefully before they go on summer recess.
Right. Okay. All right. And there's so much more that you and I know that we're just not able to say right now. But basically, for public consumption, this meeting is going to take place unless some weird calamity happens with a congressman who is known for getting actively involved in stuff like this. So we're very hopeful about it. Well, Mike, listen, let's go to the phone lines and take some calls. We got people that are waiting to talk to you. Our first caller this afternoon is Tom. Tom, thank you for being a part of Freedom Friday. You have a question for Mike Zullo about the birth certificate. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call, Carl.
Sure.
As you know, I am not an Obama supporter. So,
yeah.
I have a question for you, Mike, and that is, what specific crimes can you and the cold case posse prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Obama has committed?
Okay, good question, Tom, and thank you. Thank you, Mike. And you and I have addressed this before, but please address that again, Mike.
You have to be careful when you start to accuse, especially the President of the United States, of a crime.
Right.
What we have here is the offering of a fraudulent document. And the argument that's going to be brought up is going to be one of deniability. Did he, in fact, know? Now, look, with everything else that's been going on with this administration, you could bet your bottom dollar he knows everything that's going on. But it doesn't matter what I know, it's what I can prove.
Right.
But there are violations of Arizona statute for fraudulent document possession and use of a fraudulent document, especially a birth record, trying to get a benefit out of it. And it would have to be a financial benefit. Being President of the United States would give you a $450,000 a year financial benefit.
That's a pretty big financial benefit.
There's also violations of Title 13 in the U.S. Code for merely, not only producing, merely possessing a document of this nature.
Right.
But those are going to be legal hurdles that people that get paid a lot more money than I do
right.
To argue out. But
right.
to put it in a nutshell, that's what we'd be looking
right.
at.
And this is why it needs to come before Congress, right?
Yes, it really does.
Yeah. So Tom, there's an answer to your question, and again, we've addressed this many times, but I do appreciate you asking that, Tom. Let's go back to the phone lines, and the phone lines are just going crazy, Mike. Bob, thank you so much. Bob, thank you so much for being a part of Freedom Friday today. You want to talk to Mike Zullo about getting Congress involved, so go ahead. You're on.
Right. I've actually been following this issue myself since 2008, and I think that the original certification of live birth was also fraudulent, not just the selective service registration and the certificate of live birth. I think all three are fraudulent. So I'm very, very thankful for everything you've done, Mike. You've done everything professionally,
yes.
And you're exactly what we need. And so I do agree that the next step has to be Congress. I think that under the 20th Amendment, that Section 3 of the 20th Amendment, that it's Congress that has the responsibility to ensure that the president is.
You're right.
So my question to you is, if I want to contact my congressman, what message do you recommend to most effectively get them engaged in the issue?
That's a great question, Bob. Mike, what advice do you have for listeners who are getting this? They're with you, they agree with you, they understand, they're patient, they want to contact their congressman, but they want to know, how do you do that? What message do you have? How do you keep from getting the phone slammed down on you and called a birther nut?
What I would recommend at this point, Carl, being that we're trying to do what we're doing, I would recommend holding off for a little while. Because if Steve Stockman does what I think he's going to do, there is going to be an opportunity to do exactly that.
Right.
And an opportunity where it's going to have a lot of impact. And actually, your caller is like 9 steps ahead of me right now as far as our discussion. We are going to need a groundswell of public outcry, outrage. And if Steve Stockman is successful in doing what I believe he's going to do,
right.
we will have that opportunity to contact your congresspeople in a different way.
Right.
So what I would just ask now is to stand down a little longer. I know this has been long and protracted, but bear with us because we're going to have to take our shot at this, and we're going to have to put as much strength behind it as we can. If you just go out now and start calling them, they're just going to run further away from it.
Right.
That's all they're going to do.
Right.
I've been told personally that this is a career killer to deal with this issue.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, but that's what I've been told. That's what they're under the impression.
Right.
So we have to coordinate an effort here.
Right, and that's the key, the coordinated effort, and that's what you and I have been trying to hint around and tell people, just Look, trust us, please. Carl Gallups is not a liar. Mike Zullo's not a liar. Joe Arpaio's not a liar. Joe and Mike are the consummate professional law enforcement career men. Carl Gallups has a career in law enforcement. We know what we're doing. But there has to be a coordinated effort, and we are doing that behind the scenes. But just be patient, because things have to come together. And Mike and I have been very honest with you. They might not. After all of our hard work, they still might not come together. But if that happens, we'll tell you everything. We'll tell you what was going on and what our plan B is. Am I right, Mike?
That's correct. Look, you can take it to the bank at some point in time. Either some official branch or state AG may take this issue on. But if none of that happens, I will bare my soul with the preponderance of the evidence that we have.
Right.
Because I won't let that miscarriage go unaddressed.
That's right. Thank you so much for saying that, Mike. Listen, we're going to take a time out, but before we do, Mike, I got to tell you this. Mike, while you were just talking, my email box, now, Mike, you're going to love this. My email box has been blowing up from Congressman Stockman's office. He is in an airport. His flight has been delayed due to weather, and he's desperately wanting to come on the show.
Get him on the phone. We'll just do a party call.
Well, we might be able to do a party call with him. I don't know if we're going to be able to at this point, because all of our lines are jammed, and everybody wants to talk to you. I think the best thing to do is just to get him back on a little bit later. But I'll see what I can do. But Mike, don't you go anywhere, because the people want to talk to you right now. We'll get Stockman on later if we can't get him on now. Folks, you're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.